These Australian 20-cent coins may look ordinary, but the secrets they carry can shock even the most experienced collectors in the USA. Hidden inside these dates are stories of minting errors, rare low-mintage runs, and unexpected designs that have turned everyday pocket change into coins worth hundreds of dollars. Some of these coins vanished into circulation before anyone realized their value, and a few were minted under strange historical moments that most people never heard about. What looks like just a simple platypus swirl has actually become a symbol of mystery, rarity, and unbelievable profit. And the weirdest part is that most people walk past these coins every single day without ever knowing what they're holding. Welcome back to Numis Explorer. The story of the 1967 Australian 20-cent coin begins at a turning point in the nation's monetary history, a time when the country was still adjusting to the new decimal currency introduced just a year earlier in 1966. This coin, carrying the elegant portrait of Queen Elizabeth II and the iconic platypus gliding through swirling water, was far more than a simple piece of metal. It became a symbol of a country redefining its identity. The swirling lines around the platypus were intentionally designed to represent motion, creating an illusion that instantly captured the attention of millions. But what most people don't know is that the year 1967 held its own mysteries. Some early batches were struck using leftover planchets from the first year of decimal production, which means many pieces carry subtle variations that collectors still try to decode today. Even the alloy mix, 75% copper and 25% nickel, was chosen specifically to withstand decades of daily use, yet time has revealed surprising toning patterns that experts believe were caused by slight inconsistencies in early minting machinery. As the coin traveled across markets, pockets, and distant towns, each one silently carried the signature of a transitioning Australia, and today, those small imperfections have become the clues that separate common circulation pieces from the rare ones hiding in private collections. As the 1967 20-cent coin continued its journey, its reverse design began gaining recognition worldwide. The platypus, the strange, egg-laying mammal found only in Australia, served as a reminder that this coin was not born from ordinary inspiration. It was intentionally created to reflect the uniqueness of the land it represented. But beneath this artistic charm lies a lesser-known fact that surprises many collectors. 1967 was a year when Australia minted a massive quantity of 20-cent coins. Yet surviving high-grade examples are surprisingly scarce today. Many circulated heavily due to rapid economic growth, meaning pristine specimens are extremely difficult to find. Some theories even suggest that part of the 1967 production may have been diverted to meet shortages in surrounding territories, causing unusual wear patterns and distribution anomalies that numismatists still debate. And then there's the biggest twist: rumors persist of experimental strike tests done during the same year, where slightly different dies were used to test durability. While none of these test coins have ever been publicly confirmed, the possibility has kept the 1967 coin wrapped in mystery, attracting collectors who hope to stumble upon one of these elusive pieces hiding in old jars, forgotten drawers, or family savings passed down through generations. Today, the 1967 Australian 20-cent coin stands as one of the most fascinating early decimal issues, not because it is extremely rare, but because it carries layers of history, design complexity, and mysterious whispers that still captivate coin hunters. Its Queen Elizabeth II portrait, crafted by Arnold Machin, was considered one of the most graceful effigies ever used on Commonwealth coins. Yet sharp-eyed collectors know that small differences in the depth of the engraving can dramatically affect a coin's desirability. Over the decades, people have discovered odd die cracks, rotated dies, and weak strikes from worn-out mint tools, all adding to the intrigue of finding a perfect specimen. Some collectors even claim certain 1967 coins show faint doubling around the 20, creating a shadowy effect that sparks excitement whenever spotted. And while millions were minted, only a tiny fraction survive today in truly collectible condition, especially those that escape scratches, dents, and tarnish. This is why the 1967 20-cent coin has become a treasure for those who understand its story. A coin that blends everyday simplicity with hidden secrets, waiting patiently in circulation for someone with a keen eye and a bit of luck to uncover its true value. This mix of history, mystery, and artistic brilliance is exactly what makes the 1967 Australian 20-cent not just a coin, but a small metallic time capsule that still whispers tales from the earliest days of Australia's decimal era. The next 1968 Australian 20-cent coin entered circulation, It carried with it the energy of a nation still adapting to its young decimal system, introduced only 2 years earlier. But what makes the 1968 issue so fascinating is not just its design or its alloy. It is the strange silence surrounding its production. Unlike other decimal years, mint records for 1968 show almost no circulation strike 20-cent coins being released into Australia during that year, leading many collectors to wonder, where did the 1968 coins actually go? The portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, designed by Arnold Machin, was crisp and elegant, marking one of the most iconic royal effigies in Commonwealth history. Yet the 1968 pieces appear in noticeably lower numbers than the surrounding years. The swirling platypus on the reverse, crafted by Stuart Devlin, remained unchanged, but the few coins that surfaced showed slight variations in strike strength, fueling theories that different minting equipment or trimmed-down production schedules were used. Experts believe some 1968 dated coins might have been minted for overseas territories or held in reserve, but no official explanation has ever been confirmed. This uncertainty has made the 1968 20-cent coin one of the most quietly mysterious issues of the early decimal era, with every found piece feeling like a clue in a puzzle the mint never meant to reveal. As the years passed, the unusual story of the 1968 20-cent coin grew even stranger. Many Australian collectors noted that while earlier and later years were widely available, the 1968 issue remained oddly scarce in pocket change. Some speculated that the mint struck the coins but delayed releasing them due to economic fluctuations or overproduction from 1967. Others believed the coins were intentionally held back because of a suspected die-cracking problem affecting some early batches, something hinted at by the slightly inconsistent edge thickness found on a few surviving examples. For decades, rumors persisted about trial strikes, rejected batches, and entire bags of 1968 coins being stored away in vaults, never to be circulated. And whenever a well-preserved 1968 specimen emerged in the numismatic world, it attracted considerable interest as if it were a postcard mailed from a lost chapter of mint history. What adds even more intrigue is the emergence of subtle varieties. Some coins display minor doubling on the digits 68, while others appear to have unusually smooth surfaces, as if polished during minting tests. Although none of these variations have been officially documented, the whispers surrounding them turned a simple 20-cent piece into a coin people hunt for with real excitement, the kind that makes collectors check old coin jars and inherited tins with renewed curiosity. Today, the 1968 Australian 20-cent coin stands as a captivating riddle frozen in metal, a coin that seems common on paper but uncommon in reality. Its copper-nickel alloy has aged beautifully on many specimens, developing soft gray tones that add character to its already graceful design. But the true magic of the 1968 coin is its aura of uncertainty. Because even after more than half a century, nobody fully knows how many were minted, how many were withheld, or how many are still hidden across the country in forgotten drawers, old wallets, and sealed banking bags. High-grade examples are considered surprisingly desirable, not because the coin is extremely rare, but because its ambiguous history makes owning one feel like holding a secret from Australia's early decimal era. Collectors often describe the thrill of finding a 1968 coin as different from any other year, more like discovering a small mystery left behind by a mint that rarely made mistakes but occasionally kept quiet. And this silence is exactly what gives the 1968 20-cent coin its charm and suspense. It's a coin that continues to spark theories, ignite curiosity, and invite treasure hunters to look one more time at the coins they usually ignore, wondering if the next 20-cent piece they find might not just be old, but part of an unsolved numismatic story still unfolding today. The next 1981 Australian 20-cent coin is one of the most mysterious and internationally connected coins of Australia's entire decimal era, because its story actually begins far beyond Australia's borders. In 1981, the Royal Australian Mint faced a major surge in demand for circulating coins, and instead of expanding domestic production, the Australian government made a highly unusual decision. They outsourced the minting of millions of their 20-cent coins to two foreign mints, the Royal Mint in London and the Royal Canadian Mint. This rare outsourcing created an unexpected twist in the coin's history, giving birth to multiple varieties, subtle minting differences, and a wave of speculation among collectors. The obverse still featured Arnold Machin's portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, while Stuart Devlin's platypus gliding through swirling water remained untouched on the reverse. Yet the coins produced overseas carried small but fascinating differences, sharper details, slight variations in rim thickness, and unique metal flow lines that trained eyes can detect instantly. For decades, Australians unknowingly carried coins minted in Britain and Canada in their pockets, never realizing that their everyday change held an international secret. And even today, these foreign-struck 1981 coins spark curiosity, because the exact number of each variety remains blurred behind incomplete records and conflicting estimates, adding another layer of mystery to their story as time passed. The 1981 20-cent coin became a favorite among collectors, not because it is extremely rare, but because it hides subtle clues of its origin that make every discovery feel like solving a miniature puzzle. The Canadian-minted 20-cent coins, for example, are known for their distinctive high-quality strikes, with deeply cut digits and especially crisp outlines around the platypus. Some experts have noted that Canadian strikes often have a slightly more reflective surface, likely due to differences in planchet preparation. Meanwhile, the London-minted coins carry microscopic toothmark patterns along the rim that differentiate them from the Canberra pieces minted in Australia. And here is where the suspense grows. Rumors persist of a tiny number of 1,981 coins produced using experimental dyes, especially from the foreign mints, though none have been officially confirmed. A few collectors have found examples with doubling on the lettering, extra metal on the platypus's tail, or faint dye cracks that seem uncharacteristic for mass production, causing ongoing debates in numismatic circles. Some even claim that certain bags of 1981 coins shipped overseas were never returned, hinting at the possibility of locked-away stockpiles waiting to be discovered. These theories have turned the 1981 issue into a thrilling chase for variety hunters, who examine every curve and mark hoping to uncover a piece that rewrites what we know about this already intriguing year. Today, the 1981 Australian 20-cent coin stands as a symbol of an extraordinary chapter in the nation's minting history. A year when economic pressure, global cooperation, and hidden experimentation collided to produce one of the most diverse decimal issues ever made. Its copper-nickel alloy has proven remarkably durable, with many examples still appearing in circulation more than 4 decades later, carrying the hidden fingerprints of whichever mint created them. And although millions were struck, finding high-grade examples, especially from the foreign mints, has become increasingly difficult due to heavy circulation, environmental wear, and natural metal aging. This scarcity in premium condition has elevated the coin's desirability, especially among collectors seeking a piece of international minting history. But the real excitement lies in the unknown. Which varieties are still undiscovered, which subtle errors remain unreported, and how many foreign-struck coins still hide unnoticed in ordinary coin jars. The 1981 20-cent coin continues to fuel conversations, spark investigations, and inspire treasure hunters across Australia and beyond. It's not just a coin. It's a silent witness to a year when Australia's currency traveled the world before even reaching its people. A year whose secrets may still be sitting quietly in someone's pocket, waiting for the right pair of eyes to uncover them. The next 2001 Australian 20-cent coin carries a history far deeper than most people realize, because it was released during a year of major national transformation, Australia's centenary of federation. While most attention went to the special commemorative coins minted that year, the standard 20-cent coin quietly became an important piece of the story too. On the surface, it looked unchanged. Arnold Machin's portrait of Queen Elizabeth II still appeared on the obverse, and Stuart Devlin's swirling platypus design remained on the reverse. But behind this familiar appearance, the year 2001 was marked by unusual minting pressures, experimental adjustments, and shifting production strategies that created subtle varieties and unexpected differences between coins. Australia was celebrating 100 years since its 6 colonies united to form a federation, so the Royal Australian Mint focused heavily on commemorative issues. As a result, standard circulation coins, including the 20-cent piece, were minted in lower emphasis, leading to inconsistent strike qualities and surprising metal flow patterns on many examples. Some coins show unusually sharp details, while others appear weakly struck as if pressed in a rush, raising questions among collectors. Were different machines used, or were new dyes tested during that year of heightened production activity? These quiet irregularities have made the 2001 20-cent coin far more interesting than it first appears. As numismatists began studying minting data from 2001, another layer of intrigue appeared. A significant number of 20-cent coins for that year were struck not only in Canberra but also at the Royal Mint in Wales to support Australia's circulation demands. Yet the official numbers released for the year remain surprisingly vague. Specialists have identified subtle rim differences, variations in the depth of the platypus lines, and differences in the sharpness of the queen's portrait that seem to point toward multiple die sets being used, some domestic, some foreign. These findings spark debates about exactly how many 2001 dated 20-cent coins were struck in each location, and whether certain varieties are significantly scarcer than others. Adding to the mystery, a handful of coins have surfaced with double digits in the date, faint doubling around Elizabeth, and other signs of die fatigue or misalignment, suggesting the minting machinery was under heavy pressure that year. Some collectors theorize that because the mint was occupied producing dozens of commemorative designs for the centenary, the standard 20-cent coins received less precision and quality control than usual. Others believe the opposite, that a few experimental adjustments were being secretly tested, especially on the platypus design, leading to tiny intentional modifications that were never publicly acknowledged. Whether these theories are true or not, the 2001 20-cent coin has become an unexpected hotspot of collector enthusiasm, with every small variation feeling like a hidden clue from a year of national celebration and minting complexity. Today, the 2001 Australian 20-cent coin stands as a quiet but fascinating relic of one of the most important years in Australia's modern history, a year when the country looked back on a century of unity while its mint struggled to keep pace with the massive demand for commemorative and circulating coins. Although millions were produced, finding well-struck, high-grade examples has become surprisingly challenging, especially those with strong details on the queen's hair and the platypus's tail. Many circulated heavily, and others show early signs of die deterioration, making pristine examples increasingly desirable among collectors who appreciate subtle varieties. What truly keeps the 2001 coin wrapped in suspense, however, is the belief that not all varieties have been discovered yet. Enthusiasts continue to report unusual edges, rotated dies, unexpected metal tones, and slight shifts in alignment, hinting that multiple production runs, with slightly differing specifications, were used during that chaotic minting year. This is why the 2001 20-cent coin is more than just pocket change. It is a puzzle piece from a year filled with national pride, minting secrets, and hidden numismatic opportunities. And even today, as collectors sift through old jars, inherited coin stashes, or loose change boxes, the possibility remains that a rare or undocumented variety of the 2001 20-cent coin could still be waiting to be discovered, silently carrying a piece of Australia's centenary history in its metal. The next 2005 Australian 20-cent coin may look like just another modern decimal coin, but its story carries far more depth and curiosity than most people notice at first glance. Released in a year when Australia was undergoing important changes in its currency production, the 2005 issue sits at the crossroads of old minting techniques and the shift toward updated quality standards. The familiar designs remained untouched, Arnold Mackin's portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse and Stuart Devlin's graceful platypus on the reverse, but the minting environment around them was rapidly evolving. In 2005, Australia's Royal Mint was busy preparing for major commemorative releases, experimenting with laser-cut dies, and upgrading the machinery used to produce circulation coins. As a result, the standard 20-cent coins from this year show noticeably mixed strike qualities. Some coins have sharp, clean details on the platypus's flippers and water swirls, while others appear unusually soft or shallow, sparking ongoing speculation among collectors about whether certain presses were being tested or recalibrated. Adding to the intrigue, small batches minted early in the year seem to have slightly different metal flow patterns, possibly due to experimental polishing methods, leading numismatists to wonder if the mint was quietly refining its preparation techniques. This combination of minor inconsistencies and subtle visual clues has turned the 2005 coin into an unexpectedly interesting piece for those who love decoding minting mysteries. As collectors studied the 2005 20-cent coin more closely, they discovered even more details that deepen the story. For the first time in several years, the Royal Australian Mint reportedly dealt with fluctuating demand for circulation denominations, requiring production runs to be split across multiple months and possibly even multiple calibrations of the same machinery. This led to unusual varieties that remain the subject of debate even today. Some coins show minor doubling on parts of Queen Elizabeth's lettering, while others contain faint die cracks on the platypus's lower body. Tiny flaws that suggest the mint might have pushed some dies beyond their ideal lifespan to meet production schedules. A few 2005 coins have been found with unusually reflective surfaces, leading some collectors to suspect that test planchets or early strike examples accidentally entered circulation. These mysterious differences, though subtle, create a sense of suspense for anyone inspecting a 2005 coin. Is it from the early batch, the mid-year run, or the late-year pressings that show stronger metal fatigue? And because the mint has never fully confirmed the origin of these varieties, the numismatic community continues to piece together information from circulated examples, auction finds, and private reports. This sense of an unresolved puzzle is exactly what elevates the 2005 coin from ordinary pocket change to a collectible with hidden stories waiting to be uncovered. Today, nearly 2 decades later, the 2005 Australian 20-cent coin holds a quiet but persistent appeal among collectors who enjoy exploring the unknown corners of minting history. While millions were produced, high-grade examples with strong strikes are surprisingly uncommon, especially those without rim dents, contact marks, or metal streaks. Many circulated heavily during the mid-2000s, absorbing every day where that reduced their eye appeal, making well-preserved coins much more desirable. The true suspense surrounding the 2005 issue, however, lies in the belief that not all of its varieties have been discovered yet. With ongoing reports of rotated die specimens, off-center strikes, and subtle differences in rim shape, the 2005 circulation coin continues to draw attention from keen-eyed collectors hoping to uncover the next notable variant. Every coin from this year feels like a potential clue, one that may reveal insights into Australia's transition between old and new minting methods. And for anyone searching through old change, inherited jars, or even fresh circulation, the possibility remains that a particularly unique 2005 coin could still be waiting to appear. It stands as a reminder that even in the modern era, when machines are precise and records are digital, small minting mysteries still happen. And sometimes the most ordinary-looking coins hide the most unexpected stories. The next 2006 Australian 20-cent coin may look like just another modern decimal piece, but its history reveals a surprisingly eventful year inside the Royal Australian Mint. This was a period when the mint was undergoing significant technological upgrades, moving toward more precise automated systems while still relying on older methods for certain production runs. The result was a fascinating blend of old and new processes, which subtly influenced the appearance of the 2006 20-cent coins. On the surface, nothing changed. The familiar Arnold Machin portrait of Queen Elizabeth II remained on the obverse, and Stuart Devlin's iconic platypus continued to glide through swirling currents on the reverse. But behind this unchanged exterior, 2006 became a year of fluctuating demand, rushed minting schedules, and mid-year adjustments that left their mark on the coins themselves. Some 2006 examples show unusually strong strikes with sharp waterlines and bold digits, while others appear faint or weakly pressed, leading collectors to believe that multiple die sets and calibration levels were used throughout the year. Because the mint was juggling special releases and preparation for upcoming commemorative programs, subtle variations began to slip into circulation unnoticed. These differences, tiny metal flow lines, edge thickness inconsistencies, and slight variations in alignment, have since become the clues that collectors use to identify possible early strike, late strike, or trial run examples from this quietly interesting year. As collectors and researchers began examining the 2006 20-cent coins more closely, they uncovered even more details that added mystery to its story. The Royal Australian Mint produced a significant portion of the year's currency on a demanding schedule, and this pressure appears to have resulted in minor die fatigue and increased error potential. A handful of 2006 coins have surfaced with small die cracks across the platypus's body, faint doubling on the lettering around the Queen's portrait, and unusual metal ripples near the date signs that the mint may have run certain dies for longer than usual. There are also reports of rotated die errors, albeit in very small numbers, suggesting that some machines may not have been fully recalibrated during batch changes. These varieties, though subtle, have sparked debates in numismatic circles about whether the mint was experimenting with new die hardening techniques or simply working under pressure to meet economic demand. Adding to the suspense, some collectors have identified sharply struck mirror-like examples that seem to resemble early test strikes more than regular circulation issues. Whether these coins escaped from quality control batches or were part of an early production run remains uncertain, as the mint has never officially confirmed such pieces. This uncertainty, combined with the scattered appearance of unexpected varieties, has turned the 2006 20-cent coin into a surprising source of fascination for those who enjoy discovering secrets hidden in plain sight. Today, the 2006 Australian 20-cent coin remains a modern-era piece that continues to intrigue collectors seeking subtle differences and hidden minting clues. While millions were produced, truly high-grade examples are less common than expected, partly because many circulated heavily in the late 2000s during a period of increased public spending and coin turnover. Finding a specimen with clear waterlines, a crisp queen's portrait, and clean rims has become a small victory for collectors, especially when so many surviving coins show signs of wear, bag marks, or weak striking. What makes the 2006 coin even more exciting, however, is the belief that additional varieties still exist, waiting to be discovered in old coin jars, forgotten stashes, and everyday pocket change. With ongoing reports of off-center strikes, unusual planchet marks, and unexpected metal tones, the 2006 issue has become a quiet treasure hunt for numismatists who love uncovering details the mint never publicized. Its blend of modern minting technology, transitional processes, and subtle errors makes it a coin that still holds suspense nearly 2 decades later. And for collectors, the thrill lies in knowing that the next ordinary-looking 20-cent piece they pick up could be part of this unfolding story. An overlooked clue from a year when Australia's mint was evolving, adapting, and leaving behind small mysteries etched into every coin. The last 2008 Australian 20-cent coin might appear simple at first glance, but its history hides a surprisingly dramatic chapter in modern Australian minting. This year stands out because it marked a transitional period between older die preparation techniques and more advanced polishing and finishing methods the Royal Australian Mint was starting to adopt. While the coin still carried the beloved Stuart Devlin platypus on the reverse and Ian Rank Broadley's portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, introduced only a decade earlier, the production environment around it was evolving rapidly. In 2008, Australia saw fluctuating demand for circulation coins as global economic uncertainty began to rise, forcing the mint to adjust production runs, shift schedules, and recalibrate its machinery more frequently than usual. As a result, the 2008 20-cent coins show unusual variations in strike strength and metal flow, with some pieces appearing incredibly sharp and detailed, while others are surprisingly weak, almost blurry in their design features. These inconsistencies have made collectors wonder whether multiple die sets, experimental surface treatments, or mid-year equipment changes contributed to the variations. Even though millions were minted, the coins from this year hold a quiet mystery, as if they were struck during a period when the mint itself was trying to keep up with unpredictable demand and rapidly changing technology. As numismatists began examining the 2008 20-cent coins more closely, they discovered even deeper layers of intrigue hidden within this seemingly ordinary issue. Some coins reveal faint doubling on the lettering around the Queen's portrait, especially visible on Elizabeth and Australia, suggesting minor die shifts during production. Others show light die cracks forming near the platypus's tail or across the swirling waterlines, signs that certain dies may have been pushed beyond their ideal lifespan during peak production periods. This gives rise to the theory that 2008 was a year when the mint stretched its resources, possibly due to the global financial climate and the pressure to supply enough durable currency for circulation. A few collectors have even reported 2008 coins with unusually glossy, reflective surfaces, which resemble either early die stage pieces or coins accidentally struck using dies prepared for collector sets. The Royal Australian Mint has never officially confirmed whether any test strikes or experimental planchets were used for circulation coins that year, adding even more suspense to an already mysterious issue. These unconfirmed varieties and rare anomalies have made 2008 a year that collectors revisit again and again, as if searching for clues hidden in the metal. A puzzle scattered across coins that passed through millions of hands without anyone noticing their secrets. Today, the 2008 Australian 20-cent coin stands as a surprising favorite among collectors who enjoy uncovering small minting differences and modern-era variations. While it is not rare in sheer numbers, finding high-grade examples with sharp strikes, clean rims, and minimal bag marks is much more difficult than people expect. Many 2008 coins circulated heavily, especially during the late 2000s financial turmoil, which meant they absorbed more wear and tear than coins from steadier years. This heavy circulation has made crisp examples increasingly desirable, especially those with strong details on the Queen's hair, the platypus's flippers, and the swirling water lines. But the real excitement around the 2008 issue lies in the possibility that additional varieties, undiscovered errors, or undocumented die states still exist. Hidden in drawers, old jars, and long-forgotten coin collections. Every 2008 20-cent coin feels like it could be part of that mystery. Was it struck early in the year when the dies were fresh, or was it produced during a period of rushed output and worn tools? Does it belong to a known variety, or is it a small piece of minting history that has yet to be catalogued? This ongoing sense of suspense, combined with the coin's modern yet transitional nature, ensures that the 2008 issue remains an intriguing chapter in Australia's decimal story, inviting collectors to keep searching, keep comparing, and maybe, just maybe, discover something new.